Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to dive into one of the most profound ideas in all of Eastern philosophy. But we're going to look at it through a really modern lens, thinking of it as a kind of divine computer code, an operating system for reality itself.
So let's just start with a really provocative idea, something that kind of flips the whole script. What if spiritual awakening isn't about escaping the game of life? What if, instead, it's about getting the ultimate admin rights to reboot the entire system from the inside?
You know, the source material for this explainer takes the ancient idea of a bodhisattva and completely reframes it. So forget that image of some remote, saintly figure. I want you to picture a bodhisattva as a full-stack conscious agent, basically a complete operating system for existence.
All right, so if we're running with this idea of a divine OS, what does its architecture actually look like? Let's pop the hood, right? Let's take a little tour of the core modules.
So what we're looking at here is a system made up of a bunch of deeply integrated parts. And together, they cover the whole shebang. Everything from the why that drives it, to the how it thinks, all the way to the interface it uses to actually interact with reality. Let's break them down.
Okay, first up, you've got the motivation engine. Imagine this like a perpetual power source. Its core code is just pure, unstoppable compassion. It doesn't have doubts, it never gets tired, and it will never give up on a single being.
Then there's the cognition system. Now this is the central processor, but it's so much more than a CPU just crunching numbers or knowing facts. We're talking about directly perceiving the fundamental source code of existence, the very structure of reality itself.
And of course, that incredible perception has to go somewhere, right? It feeds right into the execution system. This is the action layer, where the whole world literally becomes the platform. And every single operation, every action, is optimized for one single goal, the flourishing of all other beings in the system.
And get this, the system's capability layer. This thing comes with some seriously powerful plugins. I mean, we are talking realm-level operating permissions. That's like having the ultimate, top-level admin rights to operate freely across time, space, and even form itself.
You know, any great OS, any great piece of software runs on just a few lines of core, non-negotiable code. So let's dig into the three fundamental principles that are right at the very heart of this Bodhisattva OS.
So, that first line of code, it's this beautiful paradox. It's like, on one hand, you know it's all a game, that it's this grand illusion, but on the other hand, you play that game with absolute perfection, with total skill and complete commitment.
All right, the second line of code is all about a really profound choice. It's the logic of reaching the finish line, achieving complete liberation, but then consciously, intentionally choosing not to exit the system. Why would it do that? Simple, to stick around and help everybody else level up.
And then there's the third line of code. And honestly, this one is the most mind-bending of all. The system operates without an ego, without a central self. But because it sees so clearly how everything is interconnected, it just naturally takes full responsibility for the entire network.
Okay, so you're probably asking, how on earth can a system take on all that responsibility without a central ego running the show? Well, that brings us to its most revolutionary and powerful feature, its core processing mode.
Just look at the difference here. It's night and day. You know, our default egocentric OS, its main input is always going to be, what's in it for me? And the whole process is about self-preservation. Now switch over to the Bodhisattva OS. The input query changes completely. It's just what is needed. And the core process, to benefit all beings. It's a total flip of the script.
And right there, that is the key to the whole thing. The most powerful feature of this OS isn't something it has, it's actually something it doesn't have. And that's the complete and total absence of a self-serving process at its core.
All right, let's bring this all together. When we look at it this way, what does this divine OS idea really tell us about the ultimate system upgrade for consciousness?
Well, the first big takeaway is this. Real awakening isn't about detaching or, checking out of the world. It's about a much deeper, much more profound, and just way more effective way of engaging with everything.
And the second insight, man, this one really reframes the whole endgame. It's not about trying to escape the program or just deleting your user account. No, it's about becoming the foundational code that the entire system actually runs on.
And finally, and this might just be the most powerful point of all, true awakening is the ultimate act of service and responsibility and is performed without any egoic motivation at all. It's just pure, selfless function, period.
So what is a bodhisattva then? In the end, it's like the ultimate infinite loop in programming. It's a perfected program that, instead of just shutting down when its task is done, makes an active choice to just keep running, forever, all for the benefit of every other process in the system.
And that leaves us with one last really big question to chew on. If true awakening isn't about leaving the world, but choosing to run it better, and if your consciousness is, in its own way, an operating system, well, what system are you running?